Hello, everybody. Welcome to StartOut Growth Lab Cohort 12 graduation. We are going to give a few moments to let everybody join, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. We'll start at 5:03 Pacific, 8:03 Eastern. I'll see you all shortly. Thank you for joining. For those of you that are in San Francisco, it is a wet and rainy day, so if you hear any noise in my background, that is all of the disaster that's outside, so please stay dry and safe. All right, 1 more minute and we'll kick it off. Yes, better than snow. Totally agreed. Alrighty, we are going to kick off the graduation. Good evening. My name is Chris Davidson. I am the head of the StartOut Growth Lab. Myself and our 3 amazing entrepreneurs in residence, I'll introduce them. Maka Bagoria, Kelly McDonald, and Corey Kelly would like to thank you and welcome you to the graduation for Cohort 12. We are here today to showcase 9 amazing companies. Unfortunately, one of the founders is not able to join live and has created a video to share. For those of you that don't know, the StartOut Growth Lab is a 5-month accelerator program that helps support LGBTQ+ founders via access to capital, networking opportunities, mentorship, and education. We have had some amazing outcomes and success stories, and Brian McDonald in a few moments will be talking to you about that. To learn more about the StartOut Growth Lab, please go to startout.org/growth lab. Now a few words from Brian and our 2 amazing lead sponsors, JPMorgan Chase and DLA Piper. Brian, over to you.
Hey, hi. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you for all the great work that you have done for our Growth Lab graduates, near to be alumni. But hi, everyone. My name is Brian Richardson. I use he and him pronouns, and I have the distinct honor of being CEO of StartOut, where I get to meet incredible entrepreneurs like the 9 you're going to hear from tonight every single day. And so I want to get to them as soon as possible. First, Chris asked me to talk about why queer entrepreneurship matters and why the Growth Lab matters. And when I think of queer entrepreneurship, I'm really reminded of my 8th grade social studies teacher in Birmingham, Alabama, where I grew up. She was a fabulous Black woman with really great clothes. She was also a great teacher who drew on her own experiences from her school days in Birmingham as well, where she protested against segregation and had attack dogs and fire hoses turned on her and her friends as a high school student. And so having her as a history teacher was quite eye-opening and amazing because she taught us so much about civil rights and civil justice. And one lesson that resonates with me was when she taught us why it was the preachers who so often led the civil rights movements across so much of the country. Oftentimes people think it's the preachers because they're really great orators, or because they know the community, or because they can argue a moral imperative. All that's true, but Ms. Thomas argued and taught that why they really led the civil rights movement was economic security. Because the preachers were oftentimes the only members of the Black community whose paychecks were paid by the Black community. So they had the economic security and the financial stability to lead protests on Sunday and not get fired by their bosses on Monday, where very few people in the community had that opportunity, given the economic system of the day. And so when I think of Ms. Thomas's lessons, I'm reminded why entrepreneurship is so vitally important still today in the queer community. As we see so many of our attacks under threat legally and politically across the country and across the world, it becomes even more important for us to build our own companies, grow them to scale, and frankly, queer the entire economic system so we can protect one another and ensure all of us have the opportunity to live authentic lives. So I tip my hat to the graduates tonight. You come from different places. You've launched amazingly diverse companies, but you're a shining example for all LGBTQ plus people. And I know this is only the beginning for your work, as you're going to continue to grow your companies. You're going to continue to career business. And as a result, you're going to ensure economic security and opportunity for everyone in our community. That's what change is about. And that's what you're doing, graduating tonight. Speaking of economic security, StartOut only exists because of the support of our sponsors and friends like JP Morgan Chase. So I'm thrilled to introduce Hunter Nadler, who helps lead startup banking at JP Morgan Chase and has been an incredible asset to the Growth Lab and an incredible partner for StartOut. And so he understands just how important this work is and the need for economic security for our community. So I'm thrilled to pass the mic over to Hunter.
Thanks, Brian. Good evening, everybody. First of all, just congratulations to the Growth Lab cohort graduates. While it's the end of the program here, it's just the beginning of your journey as founders and realizing the opportunity ahead of you with your incredible businesses. On behalf of JP Morgan, we're proud to partner with StartOut and the Growth Lab in support of LGBTQ plus founders and the community as a whole. Truly, it's been really special working together with each of these founders, and there's a lot more that we continue to partner with over time. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, and I'd love to pass it over to our sponsor, our co-sponsor, Tom Gaynor, the DLA.
Thanks, Hunter. And thanks, Brian. I think Brian set the table well. One of the most interesting things when StartOut and I founded the Growth Lab almost 8 years ago now was the unpredictable outcome that we took a gamble on. And one of the things that has been so amazing and so encouraging for that initial decision to put the action of entrepreneurial support into a brick and mortar context pre-COVID and now in a global virtual context since COVID in the form of the Growth Lab has really been the inspirational success through each of the 12 cohorts. And it's amazing to say that 12 cohorts and the hundreds of entrepreneurs that have been through this program to join the ecosystem of economic equality evangelists for our community. And I think that is one of the best things that we could have hoped for coming out of that experiment to create this structure, this organizational support, and this program. And Chris and Jake and all those who've built out the programming and participated in supporting the programming of the Growth Lab, we could not have done that without their contribution. And more importantly, going forward, we can't do that without the successful entrepreneurial support that you continue to go out and evangelize on behalf of our community and invest in our community for the products and for the services that you're bringing to the world at large. And that is a humbling opportunity for you, as well as a humbling opportunity for anybody involved in StartOut to be part of something that has become so amazingly large, which is having a ripple effect that is beginning to be felt in immeasurable ways. Thank you, one and all, for your participation in the cohort, your trust and confidence in StartOut and in the Growth Lab and the Growth Lab team. And I can't wait to see what's on the horizon for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Brian. Great words. Really nicely stated. We're now transitioning to the company presentation portion of the graduation. I'd like to introduce Maka, and she will move us forward. Maka, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. We have 9 amazing companies tonight that are showcasing. Each company will have 5 minutes to present. They'll discuss their business, their progress during the Growth Lab, and highlight what is next for them. So let's just get into it. Now to our founders. I'd like to introduce the first founder, Yosh Miller of Hadley. Yosh, feel free to share your screen and get started.
Hello. Do I share the screen? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm putting on the timer to make sure I don't go over. It is so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And it's been such a pleasure being in the Cohort 12. So my name is Yosh Miller. I'm the founder and CEO of Hadley. Hadley is an app that's making 529s more accessible than ever. I call a 529 a Swiss Army savings account because it could be used for so many things. A lot of people think it's just for school, but it's also for retirement. It's for student loans, and it's for every American, regardless of your age and for all income levels. And because it can infinitely pass forward to anyone in your family, existing or even future family members, I consider them family nest eggs that every American household should have. The 529 market is a $10 trillion market that is less than 5% taxed. So a lot of opportunity to do both good and to do well. So introducing Hadley. You can download Hadley today from the App Store. Please do it. If you have a 529 account today, you can link it so you can receive contributions from family and friends, including and down the line, employers, third-party organizations, and foundations. Hadley works with every 529 plan. If you don't have a 529 plan, it will match you to your best rated plan. I literally became an SEC registered investment advisor just so I can legally and literally match everyone to their best plan that I would put my own family in, my own niece's Hadley, hence the name. Here's how we make money. We charge organizations a fee to transfer assets into 529 accounts belonging to the members of that organization. So think foundations, employers. We also get paid by some 529 plans for account openings. And finally, users today pay a nominal processing fee that covers Hadley's money movement expenses. Hadley is so lucky to count StartOut as one of our partners in our coalition. Clearly, we're making systemic change here. There's a reason why 7 in 10 Americans have never heard of the go-to way to save for school. And those reasons are systemic, but that's what we're redressing here. And I couldn't do this without StartOut's just being not an ally, but an accomplice. And I have some special thank yous for StartOut. Ali Hartman is the one who put it on my radar and getting me to apply, so thank you. Maka is my mentor, my graduate in residence, and very grateful for our sessions. And I'd also like to highlight some other folks working behind the scenes in StartOut that Growth Lab folks you don't get to see often, but had a big impact. So Allison Wright encouraged me to apply to Bank of New York Mellon's one-day accelerator. I also received some investments from StartOut investors through Andrew, so really grateful. And of course, Hunter Nadler and his team for making themselves available as we're building the seed deck. Hunter, I'm still working on it, and I'll give you the update in like 2 weeks, less than. And during Growth Lab, I got to work. This is a Stanley hammer, so I am fashionable. But during my big takeaways in my time at Growth Lab, I really hammered home the first phase of my go-to-market. It's being better received by seed investors, which has been really encouraging. I raised capital and participated in the accelerator that got me that financial statement package that really helps with the data room. For fundraising, we're looking to kick off the seed in Q2 2024. It will be a $3 million seed raise. Until then, I'm still accepting angel investments, minimum checks around 25K. Like I said, I'm looking for investors who share my passion of democratizing this, but also with a keen eye of doing both good and doing well. This is the team. During this process, I found folks who are advisors, they have equity, and they want to step up as founding team members upon funding. And we have a great group of advisors that range from the Bush Center, the Clinton Foundation, Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and the folks that want to join the team are all new moms who have incredible careers in tech at Sweetgreen, also the COO at Dick Clark Productions, and a head of product at a female health reproductive tech app. So I think I did it the most concise I've ever done it ever. My stopwatch is telling me that I have 30 seconds left. Please, when you get the chance, download Hadley. Tell your family and friends about it. And when you do it, you'll see how magical we've made getting your 529 linked so that anyone can put money to it. And when you do, please add me as a friend. I'm the only Yosh on the Hadley app. And thank you again for everyone for all their support these past 5 months.
Thank you, Yosh, for that awesome presentation. If you can go ahead and unshare your screen. Up next, we have Remy Martini from Sorelli.
Thank you, Maka. Hi, everyone. I'm Remy, and I'm the founder of Sarelli, a beauty and fashion accessory brand. I am the CEO. I started my career after business school at LVMH and then L'Oreal. And my co-founder is an amazing creative director. She's one of the biggest influencers in Mexico with more than 5 million followers. We have a clear positioning and a unique positioning. We are the first ever affordable luxury brand focusing on an amazing demographic, the Hispanic Gen Z. And this market is quite huge, actually. We are talking about a $50 billion market for the Hispanic Gen Z for fashion and cosmetics. And as we can see, mainly this market is in the US. So what do we sell? We launched the brand in 2021 in Mexico City. And we are the first brand ever in the world to launch cactus leather goods. What are they? They are handbags and small leather goods made out of cactus, and it's a 90% plant-based leather. And then we moved to jewelry with recycled silver, and eyewear in bioplastic. And we launched last year the first ever makeup line for Latin Gen Z skin. Huge success. Since then, we tripled our sales. And we're very, very happy of that line. So what happened at the StartOut Growth Lab? I'm so grateful of the whole team, of Maka's mentorship. And I can tell there is a big effect. When I arrived in September, on average, I was selling $60,000 per month. By December, I just tripled the sales, almost $200,000. And something that we kind of like, I believe, we went back to EBITDA positive. We launched the brand break-even, and now we are EBITDA positive. I want to thank you again, everyone at StartOut and at Growth Lab. It was an amazing journey. So what I know now is that our company has some kind of pretty good traction. Our test market, Mexico was the test before the expansion. Mexico worked. We have more than 9,000 existing customers. We reached $1.5 million in sales last year. 80% of those sales done online direct to consumer with an AOV of $150. And we are still small, but happy to say that we are already the Mexican premium brand #1 in online sales. So now what happens for next year and how StartOut help us prepare an amazing plan. 2024 is the year for us to scale and to start an amazing expansion to the US. So we have a big plan and big ambition. We want to reach $4 million in sales this year with 1 million in the US and 10 million for the following year. So how are we going to do that? Thanks to an amazing exercise from the Growth Lab, which was the 18-month growth plan. We have a clear path and a clear action plan. Step 1, we're going to grow our digital marketing investment. Starting this month, we actually double it versus last year. Then we are opening stores. That's a new business for us. We did a lot of pop-up stores, but we are opening our own stores this year. And next month, actually, we're opening a first showroom and then 2 flagship stores in Mexico. And then starting the US expansion, we hope to close an amazing wholesale deal with big retailers by end of Q1. We are talking with big Hispanic celebrities like Maluma and Karol G to have them as face and co-equity partners and opening 3 pop-up stores in the US this year. And with all of that, we hope to achieve $100 million in sales by year 5 with a 20% EBITDA. And what I could say is that I hope I'm going to be able to keep working with the people at StartOut. I know there's amazing thing we can do together. If there is way to get any digital partnership opportunities, any intro to VCs that finance growth, I would love also to maybe put and bring product to any StartOut event. And also if you guys will be able to help us with top US retailers or any direct-to-consumer founders in the US, would be great to create our network there. And last but not least, we are closing our pre-seed round. We launched it last year. We raised $1.2 million. That's mainly a business angel, friends and family round. And we hope to close it next month at a 1.5 million raised. And hopefully, we would love to have more people from the StartOut community involved in that round. And I want to thank you. And I want to just mention that 30 minutes ago, we won Best TikTok Campaign of the Year. And so I'm very happy. This is a very good day. Thank you, everyone.
Congrats, Remy, on both the TikTok award and your presentation time at Growth Lab.
Thank you, Becca.
Up next, we have Luke Albertson from Motzi Health.
Thank you, Maka. Yeah, so I'm Luke Albertson from Motzi Health. And just to jump right in, I think you can tell the story of Motzi Health through the pivots we had, both in 2023, which was our first full year in business, as well as the past 5 months in the StartOut Lab. So we began fully online. We did teen mental health, but then we realized there was a shift in the market towards omnichannel. So we opened up 3 offices during our last 6 months in Dallas, Texas, and I've seen tremendous growth both in revenue and in number of clients since then. We also moved from cash pay only to taking insurance. We're currently credentialed with 7 major insurance companies in Texas and nationally. And we moved from individual one-on-one therapy to more group intensive, partial hospitalization, and intensive outpatient programs. We also realized that to scale, you needed more than just direct to consumers in this market, but you needed to be sold as an employee benefit. And so we've been in talks with 6 companies in the Dallas area to sell as an employee benefit, to benefit not just the employees, but also the employees' families.
Hey, Luke, I'm sorry to interrupt. You're not sharing your screen if you are meaning to.
Oh my gosh.
Share your screen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. There wasn't much to look at. Basically, what I was saying. Thank you. So we've had a very strong start to 2024. We have a 19-member team. We started the cohort with a team of 5. We have the #1 and #2 referral source listing for the largest Dallas school districts. We are in network with 7 major insurers, as I mentioned before. And for the first time this month, we've hit $1 million in annual recurring revenue. We also saw a 50% jump in our revenue over last month. As I said, we opened the 3 centers of excellence in Dallas, and we've raised $1.95 million, and we'll be closing another $100,000 on Friday. And just in general, we are moving towards a more tech-enabled solution as we scale. So our centers in Texas that we opened offer partial hospitalization programs to meet clients' needs that seem just more extreme than individual remote therapy could provide. So there was just a lot of demand, and insurers were beating down the doors to basically say, hey, can you take these clients on, these teenage clients who have higher support needs, and see them through a program for up to 3 months. So while we gained initial traction largely through Motzi Health, we've pivoted to this omni-channel model where we may see you online for a bit, we may see you in person. As your needs develop or decrease, we still have a place for you in our ecosystem. And this is our team. We are largely focused in Texas, but we have a national presence with an interventionist who brings clients from all over the country and will fly them in for our support services. And our national clinical director, Dr. White, is one of the top teen clinical directors in the country out of the University of Alabama. And in general, just our exponential growth is really coming from Motzi Health, which is our teen solution for online therapy. And all the studies are showing, and what we've seen, is that teens prefer online individualized therapy from the comfort of their bedroom. And as we're closing our seed funding round, we are looking to accelerate this growth by bringing on a chief revenue officer who can develop partnerships with nationwide insurers and nationwide companies, a chief marketing officer who can help on the marketing side. We're looking to be licensed in all 50 states. We're currently in 32. And just in general, marketing to accelerate our growth as we bring on therapists and additional clients. And just a big thank you to this cohort. I'm the COO, our CEO, Sean O'Connor. Actually, unfortunately, last minute, had to be with the patient, so he couldn't attend tonight. But he just wanted to say thank you to StartOut, thank you to Chris, thank you to Jake, and obviously thank you to the whole team and to the founders. We really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate you presenting, and for Sean, did a great job. Next up, Jared from Mas Amigos.
Alrighty. Thank you, Kelly. I will start sharing my screen. Alrighty. Can everyone see? Okay. All right, so we are Mas Amigos. What is a Mas Amigo? It's the original pet plant. They're moss ball pet plants in gemstone homes. We created them after we learned that a lot of our friends and family wanted to be plant people, but couldn't because they didn't have a green thumb and they were killing their plants. And so we dug in, we did some research, and we found out that actually 35% of Americans kill their plants that they take, their indoor house plants that they take home within the first year. And so we developed Mas Amigos as a carefree living companion for millions of aspiring plant parents. Our product has a provisional patent. We actually bioengineer our moss balls, so they're made in the United States in California. And we're in over 800 retail locations across the United States. These are plant nurseries, florists, and plant boutiques. So before StartOut in 2022, our fiscal year, we did $281,000. And then starting StartOut in September, we ended the fiscal year of 2023 with $702,000 in net revenue. So it was broken down between our wholesale and our direct-to-consumer side of the business. Okay. And with StartOut, developing our 18-month plan, we have big goals. In 2024, we want to double revenue again, and we want to get to 1.5 million in sales. And then hopefully in 2025, we double that again to 3 million. StartOut was really monumental in helping us move from a six-figure business, and now we're a million-dollar business. One with a lot of the courses, for example, the branding. We've redesigned our logo. We've redesigned our branding. Avocademy, a StartOut alumni, helped us redesign our website and increased our conversion rate optimization. A lot of the sessions really helped me with industrial organization. So this is a business that started in our living room and went to our shed, and then we went to a warehouse. And so each stage we were growing and we were learning more and more about the logistics of running and distributing thousands of products a year. And so we've expanded our team. We have 2 assistant managers in our warehouse and 5 operations associates. Our sales team, we've expanded it as well. So we started with 1 business development manager, and now we have 3 business development managers, and we cover the entire country from West Coast to East Coast. And we've doubled down on partnerships. So one thing that StartOut has really helped me do is help develop my personal brand as a founder. And it's an extra part of marketing you do as a founder. So Fair, the largest wholesale platform in the country, invited me on the brand panel to speak about our brand and my experience as a diverse founder. The notoriety also earned us some other earned media. So for example, Magnolia, it's one of the sub-brands at Target, is interested in potentially having us in their fall 2024 collection. So we're sending over some samples next month. And Ripley's, believe it or not, reached out to us to be in the 2024 edition because they cannot believe that moss balls in jars exist. And so we're landing in there. For the marketing team, thanks to StartOut and kind of the advice they gave with industrial organization, I've hired an email marketer and a social media manager. They've done fantastic. We've done really high engagement social media campaigns like a giveaway and our seasonal emails. Kelly has really helped me specifically as a mentor with our product road mapping, with Moss Families, which is our upsell opportunities, and our accessories, which are cross-sell opportunities, and then also increase profits for Moss Amigos by emphasizing some of our other, maybe not as exciting product, but very profitable Moss Care insurance for people's moss balls. So how are we doing so far, January year over year? So last year we did $32,000 in sales in January, and this year we did $80,000 January 31st. to date in 2024. And of that 80,000, 20% were returning customers coming back to buy seasonal accessories or expanding their Moss families. So I'm very grateful for StartOut for helping me not only expand my business, but help me make it more profitable and help me individually represent the queer community in the business space and beyond. Thank you.
Incredible growth, Jared. Thanks for sharing. Super excited. Next up, Alex Blum with Applied Bioplastics.
Hey everyone, thank you for being here. I'm Alex. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Applied Bioplastics, where we are decarbonizing durable plastics using plant fibers. We do this in a proprietary way, but essentially what we're doing is we're taking the fully mature injection molded durable plastic market and introducing the somewhat mature biomass market in a way that reduces the carbon footprint of the plastic, reduces the price of the plastic, all without affecting the industrial processes for making plastic or making things out of plastic. So it's a drop-in replacement that costs less and costs the planet less. So moving right along, why would we do something like this? Plastic is great. It doesn't need to change. Well, in 2015, it was 7% of all human emissions. And by 2050, it's going to be 20% of all human emissions. So if you care about the environment, if you care about, having air to breathe and stuff like that, fixing this kind of plastic is really important. And I want to make a quick distinction. While we have the water bottles in the frame here, that's not what we make. We don't make disposables. We make recyclables, we make durables, we make things like your car dashboard or an airplane bulkhead or your kids' toys, that sort of thing, which is going to be used and loved for a long time, which increases the value of that plastic. We don't think you should use the most durable material ever conceived by human beings to, drink water for 30 seconds or something like that. So it's both a technical and a moral stance. So again, durable plastics, 25% cheaper than the standard plastic, up to 85% less emissions, and again, no changes to the manufacturing equipment. So you can just drop it right in to your plastic producer, drop it right into your injection molder, and make the exact same product that's just as performant, but costs you less. So moving right along, how this works for us, and I'm sorry this isn't the most beautiful deck, but we are not a bioplastics maker. This is a confusing part for many investors and people who are interested in our business. But the vast majority of biopolymers companies build, own, or operate their own facilities. We don't do any of that. We basically have licensed documentation, training, troubleshooting, polymer formulations, and we also bring new customers to our licensees so that they can, we can essentially spread out the production of our material rather than spending all this money on one factory. We can take 1,000 factories and have them adopt our materials, adopt our techniques, and start producing better plastic. We also have a secondary product. This is using basically the same science, the adhesion of cellulose to polymer in a non-toxic, low carbon, and low cost way. This material is called Better Board or biothermoset resin board. It's locally sourced. It's made by hand. And one of the best things about it, one of the things that just kind of gets me up in the morning, is that we're able to use this and have successfully used this, to house refugees. So we have a really big opportunity that we got during StartOut Growth Lab, which is over a $2 billion investment in building facilities that will produce this material for all kinds of different people, basically all over Asia, the Muslim diaspora, and anywhere people need help with housing. We're able to, again, distribute that production and make it so that everybody can benefit from this. It creates jobs, housing, and additional revenues for farmers because we're intaking their biomass in order to make the housing. During StartOut Growth Lab, we actually were able to sell our housing for the first time to the United Nations directly. So huge achievement for our team. There is no bigger buyer for refugee housing than the United Nations. So really exciting stuff. So traction so far, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff. This is actually what we came in to StartOut Growth Lab with. But we really needed to focus on a couple things. And I'm happy to announce today that we are still actually newly approved by USDA BioPreferred. BioPreferred is a federal buying program that mandates, meaning you have to buy an alternate material if it's made out of biomass. We've just been in the last week approved for this program. We are submitting samples to have them individually accepted by the USDA. But what this means for us is that people who sell objects to the federal government must, going forward, must purchase our polymer in order to make those objects for the government. Excuse me. Beyond that, we still got a big question mark on the poverty alleviation initiative that I just spoke about regarding Better Board. We did find out last month that we are the top candidate for this, so we're really expecting that this opportunity will come through in the next 2 months here. So unfortunately, we won't be able to announce this success at StartOut Growth Lab, but just to put in perspective how significant this opportunity is, should this happen the way that we think it's going to happen, we will be able, over the next 20 years, to provide housing for 700 million human beings. And just to remind folks about the stats here, there's only about 750 million homeless people in the world. So we think we can solve that as a single business, which is so meaningful to me. These were the goals at the beginning of Growth Lab, and you know, some of the challenges that we had with that. Unfortunately, we missed 2 out of 3 with that, but we did become post revenue, as mentioned. You know, actually, both of our product lines became post revenue during StartOut Growth Lab. However, not enough sales to become truly cash flow neutral. You know, investor hesitancy is still a problem, especially given the way the market's been. I think all of my fellow founders are keeping it positive today, but it was really hard to raise money last year, despite all of the help that we got from the Growth Lab. And of course, becoming cash flow neutral would have meant that we, you know, needed to make $1 million in margin in the year. So achieving $5 million in revenue, not gonna happen, unfortunately. So that's it, guys. You know, really grateful to StartOut Growth Lab, my entire cohort, all the knowledge sharing that everybody did was super helpful, super practical. To Kelly, my mentor, and to the entire staff, thank you so much for hosting this. It was the most unique and helpful accelerator I've been through. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex. Excited for continued growth. Trevor Loke from OrgMatch, you are up next.
Hello, everyone. All right, I'm going to start by giving a bit of a disclaimer, saying that I'm going to be using a word throughout this presentation, and it's going to trigger you. It's going to make you think something. I just wanted to spell that right off the bat. The word is nonprofit, and what you're going to be thinking is that there is no money available. How did this guy graduate from Growth Lab? And I want to tell you that $60 billion is going from companies to nonprofits this year. And this is what OrgMatch specializes in. Why are companies doing this? 2 reasons. The first is regulatory. They want to seize government opportunities and they want to achieve tax benefits. And the second reason is reputational. You want to attract the best customers and the best employees and retain them over a long period of time. This is what community investment does. But bad partnerships are hurting good organizations. There's misalignment all over the place. And the fact is that the top 4% of organizations are receiving more than half of the opportunities, leaving grassroots organizations out of the picture altogether. And I don't have to tell you what it looks like when partnerships go wrong. I'm based in Canada, where we had a huge corruption scandal this year. $26 million went up in smoke, which isn't pretty when charities are involved. And we look across the pond to the UK to see the ongoing dispute between BP and Royal Opera House after 33 years. These are professional organizations that do this job really well, and they're struggling. I want to introduce you to our client, David from ATB Financial. David works for the largest bank in the Canadian province of Alberta, and he's been tasked with giving away $10 million to 300 nonprofits. It sounds pretty easy, but we observed that David was wasting 2,000 of his team's hours in research and administration that OrgMatch was able to automate. We've got David 90% of his time back, almost $200,000 in operational department revenues reclaimed that he can reallocate. And the best part is he's telling better stories. He's saying that the nonprofits we're giving to, we're doubling down on year over year. We're telling better stories and we're finding better fits for our corporate strategy. And it's no wonder, David's not the only client we've been dealing with, and he's not the only one smiling at the end of the process. Because when we come into organizations, we see spaghetti. We see disparate processes that can be streamlined, automated, and proactively generating a positive feedback loop, which is what our system has been designed to do. And so in the last 12 months, we've secured 160 users for our platform. We have a US patent pending, and we've developed a proprietary artificial intelligence machine learning algorithm with a university partner, as well as achieving our first revenues. And we're really proud that with all the organizations, the funding companies we've worked with, we've helped to allocate $75 million to nonprofits. When we started this company, we were very much a consulting services firm. And what we've been able to do is transform our company into a SaaS platform that is now has real users and customers using a tech product. And we're really excited about how that's transformed our business and turned us into a highly scalable operation. In fact, in the past 60 days, some of the logos you see are the companies that have knocked on our door to book meetings with us. And we have more than $1 million in deal flow pipeline opportunities in our HubSpot, which has been helped set up through Growth Lab. My background and the background of my business partner, Tim, is in the space of grant making and community investment. I helped do this when Patagonia came to Canada. When Google.org was formed, I advised their philanthropic strategy. I also have a previous exit in a similar business, so I know how to sell companies to organizations and return investment for you. We're starting in English Canada, where we've had success. I'm based in Vancouver, and I'm often in Toronto. We've had huge success targeting our Canadian market. And what we're doing here is we're getting it right before we enter the biggest market in the world, the United States, where I've also have a lot of business experience. What sets us apart from our competitors is that we're the only one that puts the corporate strategy first, rather than decentralizing it through an employee-led approach. This allows us to easily show our customers the return on their investment and to a board of directors, as opposed to individuals within the company. And our trajectory and go-to-market plan is designed to get you a 10x return in the next 5 years by adding 500 customers and $20 million in revenue. Our go-to-market plan has been very successful so far. I've been leading the founder sales. We have a database of over 3,000 strong decision-making leads that we've been booking calls with. We've launched the first peer network in Canada of community investment professionals. I've started a podcast with the former director of Morgan Stanley, who led this process. And we've been invited to some of the top industry events this year that we're really excited to be able to present to. Last week, we launched our fundraise, and we've raised half of the amount that we're seeking. Of course, these numbers are in Canadian, which means that there's a nice discount built in for US-based investors. With the money that we raise, the 600,000 Canadian that we're raising, we're applying that fully into the sales and marketing strategy that's been working and doubling down on that, as well as investing in the product-led growth strategy that's getting more clients through an automated process. We will return $1 million in annual recurring revenue through this process, tracking through our current growth metrics. Lastly, I just want to thank Growth Lab for all the help. They've really transformed our business from a scarcity mindset into one of abundance. We have secured highly referenceable customers, 4 new highly referenceable customers through this process. We've taken on big, tough challenges, and we've rethought our entire brand and business and been able to scale as a result. So thank you very much for your time. I would love to stay connected with everyone. Please feel free to reach out, trevor@orgmatch.com. Thank you.
Nice. Really nice job, Trevor. Congratulations. Up next, we have Jadis from Motivo Scar Care.
Sorry, I don't have a presentation because I had surgery last week. My name is Jadis. I'm the founder and CEO of Motivo Scar Care. We make affordable, premium, and effective scar treatment. We are the only scar care company that offers a variety of skin tones in our scar tape. We also sell topicals as well. My partner is Dr. Jonathan Keith. He is one of the leading gender affirming surgeons in the United States. And tomorrow is actually our full 1 year of sales. We started February 1st, 2023. We exceeded our goal. Our goal was 90K in revenue for our first year, and we hit 98, which I'm pretty happy about. Coming into StartOut, I unfortunately had to let go of a very important team member, and leaving StartOut, I'm filling that position with someone who was a former senior director at L'Oreal. They worked for Unilever as well, so they're going to be a really key piece to the company going into 2024. We're also, we brought on a CFO, someone to help us with our budgeting. We have, thanks to Corey, we were able to cut our spend monthly, and still be able to maintain our sales. Thanks to Maka, we're also bringing on 2 interns. They start tomorrow, one for business development and partnership outreach, and another for social media. And going into 2024 and beyond the StartOut program, we are a part of an accelerator program that's actually going to be filmed and showcased on Prime Video. It's being filmed at the end of February, so I'm super excited about that. And then we also are part of another accelerator program that comes with a 6-figure investment that starts in March. So, and then from there, we will continue to raise capital for the company. And this will be our first real capital raise. So far, we've just been bootstrapped, and I'm super excited, and I'm very happy with all the growth that StartOut Growth Lab has helped the company achieve. Thank you.
Congratulations on your progress, Jadis. Up next, we have Kia from Workit, and then we have one left.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kia. I'm the CEO and founder of Workit. And at the time when we joined the StartOut Accelerator, I thought that Workit would be our total mission. But I have also accepted the fact that many startups fail. And if I'm going to figure out if it's going to survive or not, why not in a place that has the most human first attitude and policy. So we were Workit. And this is what we have learned in our time. So the lessons that we learned were tough love, but very fair. Workit was a product that was going to help instructors coming from marginalized groups, including LGBTQ, to be able to teach online. However, the competitive landscape was extremely high. The volatile market of trends changing. I believe if we had everything that we had today, maybe right in the beginning of the pandemic, it would have been some sort of a success there, but it is quite late in the game. With low demand generation, it just became a very high risk to keep going forward with. And just at the presence, people love free classes, so we cannot beat out YouTube and all the other companies that are already established for over a decade trying to promote classes. And boot camps are in, individuals are out. And when I say boot camps, people are looking for classes that they can get certified in to help increase their success in their jobs or the trajectory of their growth at their jobs. So the other thing that we learned is that through the Startup Lab, became really prevalent to know that our 10% go-to-market strategy that we tried to do was highly dependent on social media dependency on the instructors, as well as us as individuals, and even on the learners. And that was just too great of an ask to continue. Therefore, we decided that we will take the transferable knowledge that we gained, the growth plan, big numbers, how are we going to actually accomplish those outcomes with the resources that are needed, how we're going to get really in depth of understanding our next business trajectory with really key strategic OKRs. Coming from the corporate landscape, I understand OKRs, but it's really different when you're trying to do it for oneself or in a small team. Pitch deck advice of how to really understand how we're going to pitch the way that we run our business, our go-to-market strategy, as well as our return on investment. And then just the in-depth business guidance that was that I'm privy to because of Corey Kelly, because of Chris Davison, Jake Hannigan, and Maka. I don't want to butcher your last name, so I'll get some practice on that a little later. But this was all quite the nest that we needed to do in order to do this radical pivot. So we are now a team of 4 individuals who are going to introduce Spring Sparrow. This is a tribute to my mother-in-law, who was an immigrant to the US, who raised her daughter as a single mother looking for housing and looking for community. So we have a profitable business already, following the business model that my brother has already set up. In Delaware County for Pennsylvania, we have 2 buildings that have 14 units. It's grossing $445K as today. And then my job coming into this is as a co-founder and as a co-CEO is to help grow that with all the knowledge that we gained from the StartOut cohort and our accelerator here. So we'll go to 4 buildings to really solidify our actual process, our business model, and document and structure it. So there's boots on the ground watching the entire flow. And then once we have that in place, then we know that we can replicate this in any county. Next stop will be Alameda County of the Bay Area. We have partnerships that we are bringing together for the Salvation Army, as well as Croker Hospital. These are all dedicated to the Delaware County, but we are in trajectory of 290K. We will be using the funding of our set of growth from the 2 buildings we have to grow the 4 buildings, including some of the income coming from my wife and I. So once we understand our full process, we are totally inspired by the StartOut Cohort 12 experience, because we know that to really scale it to where we want to be, when we hit that $1 million annual recurring revenue, we know that we need partnerships, and we need partnerships with the government in order to get faster approval to build on these different counties. We know that we need organizations. We started that research today and found an organization that does co-housing, specifically helping entrepreneurs like myself to scale. We also know that building, we need some sort of security and be just part of the community with neighborhood watches. We know through this experience is that if we diversify our buildings and conversions and our housing makeups, we will have a lot more to cover, and we still be able to maintain those resources before we need to actually convert the company over more. Streamlining all the processes, saving costs, and the focus on our GTM is what the StartOut has been able to give us. And now that I can take that knowledge and do more, our request is to continue with mentorship through StartOut. As we just did this radical pivot, we do see that this change is going to happen, but we need guidance in order to make sure that 4 buildings go to 12 buildings. And if the math that we've done, we know that when we hit 12 buildings in 1 state, we know that we hit $1 million annual recurring revenue. Now to repeat it. So that go-to-market strategy is still needed, and that mentorship is still needed as we continue with different counties. Our takeaways from the program is that it's an incredible learning experience. I'm glad that the StartOut has saved me from going down a doomed path. I think once you start working with your company for so long, you just can't see clearly. So what StartOut gave us was new vision, new sight, and a new way of being able to hit the market faster to really see if that all those assumptions are truly true. We want to thank the StartOut and our mentors, Corey Kelly, Chris Davison, Maka, and Jake Hannigan, and everyone else in this cohort for this new journey. And also in tribute to my mother-in-law, Chinese name is Tren Yin Feng. Spring Sparrow is what is called in English. And we wouldn't be able to do this pivot if it wasn't for her, making sure that her daughter-in-law and her daughter is well taken care of during her passing. So I'm super grateful of all the different souls and spirits that helped us get into this journey today. Thank you.
Wow, that was really vulnerable. Thank you, Kia. You were an exemplary reminder of the entrepreneurial spirit. So thanks for sharing all of that.
Thank you.
To see what you do next, and I know I speak for everybody when I say that.
Well, thanks, Corey.
Okay, and to all of the graduates and listeners, congratulations and thank you. This wraps up our graduation. I want to thank all of you for a wonderful 5 months together. And now you're part of the StartOut Growth Lab graduate community. And if you have community, you have enough. So don't be strangers to us. And we can't wait to see what all of you do in the coming years.
An amazing growth to everyone. I'm so excited to see everything that we saw today. Well done. I also want to thank our epic teammates at StartOut for all the support in making Cohort 12 an amazing success. And thank you to all of our sponsors. None of this would be possible without you.
Thank you, Kelly. Few final words. First, want to do 2 shout outs specifically. First, Jake Ryan Hannigan, who has not been on video tonight, but he's our amazing program manager, has allowed us to scale ourselves. So this couldn't happen without you. And then to the amazing EIRs, Maka, Corey, Kelly, you heard it from everybody. You did such great work with the companies. Amazing job. Thank you again for kind of giving also this. It's spectacular. Couldn't do it without you. Final words, Cohort 12. I think you said it, you heard it. It's a family. We're just getting started. Really looking forward to keeping you close. We can't wait to see what you do and you progress into the future. Honored to have spent the 5 months with you. Last few weeks, just final goodbyes and last one-on-ones. It's really touching. Kia specifically, thank you for sharing. I think Corey said it, vulnerability was spectacular. That was an honor to listen to that. So thank you for Cohort 12. Quick reminder, Cohort 13 is starting March 4th of 2024. We are in final selection and interview process. So you will be hearing more things to come through some announcements online shortly about Cohort 13. And maybe some final words from Brian, Hunter, or Tom. Otherwise, we are going to say goodbye to Cohort 12.
Chris, well done as always. And Cohort, go out and change the world. Thanks for everything you're doing.
Congratulations. Looking forward to tracking everyone's progress. Talk to you soon.
Congratulations, everybody. Have a great night. Honored, really exciting. Go be great.
Bye, folks.